The pearls are missing. The family heirlooms are missing. What's to be done? And my binge read has come to an end for this series. I will have to wait a year, God, a year for the next book. Darcie Wilde, The Secret of the Lost Pearls, a Useful Woman series with a Rosalind Thorne, book 6. And we have our cast. Oh, and welcome to the D. Louise book series. I'm Christina, Kristina, where I like to talk about series books. I like to read about the character progression from book to book to book. The longer the series, the better. Unfortunately, this is only up to book 6 in the series, but it was so good that I could not not read it. It was so awesome. So I made an exception for this series, and it was awesome. She puts other writers to shame. She is so talented, and it's such a multi-layered mystery series. It's so good. You don't see it coming. The twisty turns at the end. It's just so multi-layered, and there's just so much to unpack here. All right, so Adam Harkness is the Bow Street runner. All right, wait, back up here. Rosalind is a useful woman. She helps families solve problems. She investigates potential suitors. She investigates if something's been stolen or if there's been a theft and the family wants to keep it a low profile. They come to Rosalind, and she was been quite successful. So she's got a little bit of a reputation for being quite successful. So, and to my dismay, although I could have seen it coming, she gave up the Duke of Castleman, Devon, because she preferred her life of investigation to a life of a duchess. Whoa. So anyway. So Adam Harkness is the Bow Street runner. So David is the coroner. Alice and George Littlefield are her friends, and because Mrs. Kendrick was her maidservant and her confidant kind of thing, but because Mrs. Kendrick gave her "you either marry Devon or I'm leaving" ultimatum, and when she didn't marry Devon, the Duke, Mrs. Kendrick left. And because Alice and George are her best friends, they're also newspaper reporters. Because George is getting married to Hannah and Mrs. Kendrick left, Alice moved in with Rosalind. So they've got that going. And then, what else? All right, and then Mr. Saunderson Fox is also a confidant and a socialite, and I think he's a little on the gay side, which is fine. But he's a really good and confidant, and he's good at finding out stuff in the theater and useful situations. How's it going there, Casanova? All right, so, all right, this is a little on the. Let's see if we can get through this. Okay, so Alice has proposed to Rosalind. They need a bigger house. If she's going to be pursuing her writing career and her newspaper career, she needs another house. And if Rosalind is going to be accepting clients, they need another house. They need more room. And if she's going to possibly be associating with Mr. Harkness, she's going to need another house. So that's the beginning. Then Adam is called off to Manchester to investigate a string of burglaries that the Crown wants put down. And we'll later learn that the Crown wanted XYZ peoples to be blamed for it and hanged for it, when the real culprits were these other group that were trying to frame Group A because they wanted to get rid of Group A. They didn't want those people in their neighborhoods. Jesus, where have we heard that before? Isn't that still common today? Not in my neighborhood. I don't need those in my neighborhood. Good grief. It's ugh. So Bethany Hodges arrives at Rosalind's house, and she's a school chum from way back when. And Bethany arrives to ask Rosalind to investigate the missing heirloom pearl necklace. A pearl necklace has gone missing. It's like ancient. And then she goes and stays with the family for a few days while she investigates. And all right, let me back up here. So she goes and stays with the family. Bethany is the woman that hired Rosalind. Gerald Douglas is her husband. Mariah is her sister. Nora is her sister. And Penelope is Gerald's sister. And Nora, in order to save, this is the past event, in order to save Penelope the younger, the innocent girl, the one that's easily impressed and all that kind of stuff, in order to save her, Nora eloped with Mr. Cantrell. Mr. Cantrell was bad news. Everybody knew it was bad news, but the only way to keep him from Penelope was to leave with him. And Nora comes back in the last year, and she proclaims to the family that her husband is deceased. And then in the middle of all this going on, her husband shows up, and he's not dead, and everybody finds out that she lied to the family, and why did she lie, and all this kind of stuff. And Rosalind confronts Mr. Cantrell and says, were their banns read? Do you have a marriage certificate? Can you write to the church to prove that you were actually married? Well, he can't. So they weren't really married. So that's a whole issue there too. Mr. Cantrell's origins are a mystery. Where did he come from? What is he looking for? What's the money situation? Who is he blackmailing? Who in the household is spying for him? And apparently he has more than one spy. There's a couple of spies. Bethany's parents are horrible, horrible people. Horrible. But we'll get to that in a sec. So another cute little thing is the fact that when Rosalind arrives at the house, and she's supposed to be there to give Penelope a season, and instead Mrs. Hodgson, Bethany's mom, walks in the room, and she's like, when Rosalind arrives at the Douglases, she's supposed to be there. They tell Gerald that he's to help Penelope, his sister, with her come out. But when Mrs. Hodgins walks in the room, she lets out that she knows who Rosalind is. I know who you are. She says that everyone knows that when Miss Thorne arrives in a house, there is surely to be some deplorable problem to be solved. She waved her handkerchief in the air at them. So, you are here about the necklace. Have you found it yet? I thought that was such a cute exchange. So, and Gerald has such a tight hold on his family. He doesn't let them go out. He doesn't let them socialize in society. It's just, there's something going on with this guy. Severely going on with this guy. Then there's something severely going on with Bethany's parents. Mr. Hodgins is very cruel. He's offering to pay people to leave the house. He offers Nora money to leave the house. He goes, how much will it cost to get you out of here? And supposedly he has money problems, but that's not revealed till later. It's such a layered book. Rosalind then meets with Nora and Mariah and learns all the details of Nora's elopement with Miss Cantrell. Nora thinks Douglas took the pearls so that Gerald took the pearls, so that he would point the finger at Nora so Nora could be kicked out. Apparently, Mr. Hodgson, her father, also had the same idea, because he goes to Nora, like I said previously, and offers her money to leave. How much will it take for you to leave? And then, Rosalind gets more information. So, there's also a little side piece here that Rosalind goes to some society people to ask them for information on the Douglases. And she also asked the lady, will you help these girls make their debut? Mariah, Nora, and Penelope make their debut to society and help them with the come out and help them with Almacs and other kind of stuff. So this lady says, yes, but I want you to introduce me to Miss Maine. She's a famous artist who's in seclusion. And that will become a big, huge part of the story later on. Then it's discovered that Sir Jasper, who is Gerald Douglas's father, is holding all the purse strings, and he makes unusual demands. And apparently, several of his sons one of his sons, Hewitt, was totally into bigamy and has several wives and several children scattered around the country. So that comes into cat. Then there's a maid who doesn't know her place and is leaking information because she too is in love with Mr. Cantrell. But you know what? His name isn't, he's got so many different names. It's unbelievable. He's got so many secret identities. But it's such a layered story. And I had enough of Penelope, though. All her fainting. She's like, oh, she's so in love with him. And he walks into the room and she faints. Oh my God, he's here. Like, Lord, what's the up with that? But it's so layered. And then they go to confront, Rosalind decides she's going to confront Mr. Cantrell. She's found out where he lives, and she's going to confront him and ask him what's up. And Adam goes with her, and apparently he's been poisoned, and he dies right in front of them. So his investigational death is also investigated. But to find out who took the pearls, why they took the pearls, who Mr. Cantrell really is or Mr. Campbell is, will the girls make it into society, who Miss Maine is, and who's the real famous artist in here, you've got to check out the book. It's so good. It's so multi-layered. And my pal here says he's a good reader too. And he wants you all to join us in the D. Louise book series. And please hit the thumbs up and like and subscribe and let me know I'm doing a good job, because all I do is read books and talk about books. My video is bad. My audio is bad. I have no drop-ins. I have no artistic ability at all. So I need you to support me with my reading the books and liking my videos. I need the public support. There isn't anybody else but you guys. So please show me some support and subscribe and like my videos. This happens to be video 300. Woohoo! Unfortunately, no one is watching my videos. So what's the point? 300 videos and nobody's watching. But you are, right? And if you're watching and you're still here, please hit the like and subscribe. Hit the thumbs up. Show some support. If you like the book videos, we're going to go on to Misfortune, I think. Get some cheeriness. And I got a couple of new authors on the road, so we'll see what happens with them. So, please hit the like and subscribe. Be good. Have a good one.